Have you ever wondered why after 60, your body starts reacting differently to foods you've eaten your whole life? Why something considered healthy can suddenly leave you feeling more tired, stiffer, or weaker than before? If you're over 60, this matters more than you think, because some everyday foods don't affect an aging body the same way they once did. Seeds are a perfect example. They're praised as natural, nutritious, and heart-healthy. So many seniors add them daily without a second thought. But here's what most people are never told. After 60, certain seeds can quietly work against your body, and the damage doesn't always show up right away. That's exactly why you clicked on this video, and you made the right decision. This is not about fear, panic, or cutting all seeds out of your diet, and it's definitely not about blaming yourself. It's about knowing which seeds can become risky with age, and which ones are far better choices for protecting your strength, digestion, and overall health. We're not going to make you wait long either. Very shortly, we'll get straight into the first seed many seniors should stop eating, and it's one of the most common ones. Before we do, take a second and comment the seed or nut you eat most often, because chances are you're not alone, and knowing this information early can make a real difference as you move forward. Let's start with the first seed many seniors eat almost every day without hesitation, because for years it has been praised as a simple, healthy addition to meals. Sunflower seeds. They're often described as heart-friendly, full of healthy fats, and easy to sprinkle onto salads, cereals, or snacks, which is exactly why so many people over 60 consume them regularly without a second thought. The problem begins when sunflower seeds are eaten frequently as the body ages. After 60, your system becomes far more sensitive to certain fats, especially when they're out of balance. Sunflower seeds are extremely high in omega-6 fats, and while these fats aren't harmful on their own, too much of them can quietly fuel inflammation in an aging body. This inflammation doesn't usually show up as sharp pain right away. Instead, it appears subtly, as joint stiffness in the morning, lingering aches that take longer to settle, or a general sense that your body doesn't recover the way it used to. What makes this especially risky is how easy it is to consume too many sunflower seeds without realizing it. They're added to bread, granola, snack mixes, and healthy, packaged foods, meaning your intake often builds up across the day. Over time, this constant exposure can place extra stress on joints, muscles, and circulation, especially when your body's natural ability to balance inflammation has already declined with age. Many seniors assume these changes are simply part of getting older, but in reality, daily habits play a much bigger role than most people realize. And because sunflower seeds are so widely accepted as healthy, they rarely get questioned. This creates a quiet cycle where discomfort slowly increases, while the real cause stays hidden in plain sight. The key takeaway here isn't fear, it's awareness. Sunflower seeds aren't poison, but for many people over 60, frequent consumption can quietly work against comfort and mobility. And if you think this one is surprising, the next seed is even more concerning, because most people don't even realize how much of it they're consuming on a daily basis. The second seed becomes dangerous not because people intentionally eat it by the handful, but because it quietly shows up everywhere without being noticed. And that's soybeans, most often consumed in the form of soybean oil. Many seniors don't realize that soybean oil comes directly from soybeans and is one of the most widely used ingredients in packaged and restaurant foods. It's added to breads, crackers, salad dressings, frozen meals, sauces, and even foods marketed as healthy, which means you can be consuming it multiple times a day without ever seeing whole soybeans on your plate. After 60, this constant exposure matters because soybean oil is extremely high in certain fats that can overwhelm an aging body's ability to regulate inflammation. When this happens day after day, the effects don't feel dramatic at first. Instead, they show up quietly as low energy, heavier legs, slower circulation, or a general sense that your body feels inflamed and sluggish. What makes this especially concerning is the cumulative effect. Even small amounts, when eaten repeatedly, can add up faster than most seniors expect, placing extra strain on the heart and blood vessels at a time when circulation naturally becomes less efficient. Because soybean oil is so common, many people assume it must be safe, or they believe avoiding fried foods is enough. But the reality is that it often hides in foods that don't taste oily at all, making it easy to underestimate how much you're actually consuming. Over time, this can quietly interfere with heart comfort, muscle recovery, and overall vitality, all while giving the illusion that you're eating responsibly. This is why so many seniors feel frustrated. They make smart choices, yet their body doesn't respond the way they hope. Awareness is the first step to breaking that cycle. And while this seed causes problems through excess and accumulation, the next one creates a different issue altogether. It interferes with your body's ability to absorb nutrients it desperately needs as it ages. The third seed creates a problem that many seniors never connect to food at all, because its effects are often mistaken for normal aging. And that seed is sesame seeds. Sesame seeds are widely praised for their minerals, especially calcium and magnesium, so they're commonly added to breads, crackers, salads, and even eaten daily in seed mixes. But here's the issue after 60. Sesame seeds contain natural compounds that can interfere with the absorption of important minerals when eaten frequently, especially in large amounts or in whole, unprocessed form. As digestion slows with age, the body has a harder time breaking these seeds down fully, which means the minerals you think you're getting may not actually be reaching your bones and muscles. Over time, this can quietly contribute to bone weakness, muscle cramps, and a general sense of physical fragility that many seniors attribute to getting older. The danger isn't immediate or dramatic, which is why it's so easy to overlook. Instead, it shows up slowly as reduced strength, less stability, and longer recovery after simple activities. This is especially concerning because maintaining bone and muscle health is critical for independence later in life. When minerals aren't absorbed properly, even a nutritious-looking diet can leave the body undernourished in ways that matter most after 60. What makes this problem harder to spot is how often sesame seeds are hidden in everyday foods. From hamburger buns to snack crackers and dressings, they appear in small amounts that seem harmless on their own, but add up over time. Many seniors never question them because they've always been considered healthy. The goal here isn't panic or complete avoidance, but understanding how frequent consumption can quietly work against your body's needs. And while this seed affects health by blocking absorption over time, the next one can cause discomfort much faster, especially when it's eaten the wrong way, a mistake many people make without realizing it. The fourth seed becomes problematic not because it's unhealthy by nature, but because of how easily it's used incorrectly after 60, and that seed is chia seeds. Chia seeds are often promoted as a superfood for digestion and heart health, so many seniors add them to water, yogurt, or smoothies without thinking twice. The issue arises when chia seeds are consumed dry or only partially soaked, something that becomes much more risky as digestion slows with age. After 60, the digestive system produces less fluid and moves more slowly, which means chia seeds can swell and expand before the body is ready to handle them properly. This can lead to immediate discomfort such as bloating, pressure, constipation, or a heavy feeling that lingers long after eating. In some cases, this repeated strain can irritate the digestive tract, making it harder to absorb nutrients from other foods as well. What makes this especially concerning is how quickly these effects can appear compared to the other seeds we've discussed. While inflammation and mineral imbalance build quietly over time, chia-related discomfort can show up within hours, leaving many seniors confused about what went wrong. Because chia seeds are seen as gentle and beneficial, people often assume the problem lies elsewhere, never suspecting the way the seeds were prepared. This creates a cycle where the same mistake is repeated, and discomfort becomes more frequent. It's also worth noting that chia seeds absorb a large amount of liquid, which can be an issue for seniors who don't hydrate as efficiently as they once did. When fluid balance is already delicate, this added demand can leave the body feeling drained rather than supported. The takeaway here is not fear, but awareness. Chia seeds aren't dangerous when used correctly, but for many people over 60, the way they're commonly consumed can place unnecessary stress on digestion. Now that we've covered the 4 seeds that often cause problems, it's important to shift gears. Because you don't need to eliminate seeds entirely, and the next part is where most people finally feel a sense of control return. At this point, it's important to pause for a moment, because hearing about foods to avoid can easily create unnecessary fear, especially when you've spent years trying to make healthy choices. The goal here is not restriction, anxiety, or feeling like everything you eat is suddenly wrong. In fact, one of the biggest mistakes seniors make is assuming that once something causes concern, it must be eliminated completely. That kind of thinking often leads to frustration and confusion. The truth is much simpler and far more empowering. You don't need to give up all seeds, and you don't need to overhaul your diet overnight. What matters most after 60 is choosing foods that work with your body instead of against it, and using them in ways that support digestion, balance, and recovery. Aging does not mean your body is fragile or beyond help. It means it has different needs and responds better to smarter, more intentional choices. Small adjustments can often make a noticeable difference in comfort, energy, and confidence, especially when they're made consistently. This is where many seniors finally feel a sense of control return, because instead of focusing on what's being taken away, the focus shifts to what can be added in a supportive way. And this is also where hope replaces fear. There are certain seeds that are much gentler on an aging digestive system, easier for the body to use, and better aligned with the changes that happen after 60. These seeds don't overload inflammation, don't interfere with absorption, and don't place unnecessary stress on digestion when prepared correctly. Let's start with the first seed most people overlook, even though it can play a powerful role in supporting comfort and balance as the body ages. The first seed that tends to work much better with an aging body is pumpkin seeds, and they're often overlooked because they don't get as much attention as trendier options. Pumpkin seeds are naturally easier to digest than many other seeds, and they provide a balance of nutrients that support muscle comfort, nerve function, and overall stability, areas that become increasingly important after 60. One reason pumpkin seeds are better tolerated is that they don't overwhelm the body with inflammatory fats, and they're less likely to interfere with mineral absorption when eaten in reasonable amounts. For many seniors, this makes them a gentler choice that supports daily function rather than quietly stressing the system. Another important benefit is their role in supporting muscle strength and reducing nighttime cramps, which can be a common and frustrating issue as the body ages. When muscles receive steady support, balance and confidence during movement often improve as well. Preparation matters here too, but in a much simpler way. Lightly roasting pumpkin seeds or eating them plain, without heavy oils or seasonings, allows the body to process them more comfortably. Portion size also plays a role. Small, consistent amounts are far more beneficial than large servings eaten occasionally. What makes pumpkin seeds especially useful is how easily they can fit into everyday meals without disrupting digestion. They can be added to soups, salads, or eaten as a simple snack without the heaviness that some other seeds cause. Many seniors notice that when they choose seeds that feel lighter and more supportive, their body responds with better comfort and steadier energy. This reinforces an important idea. The right foods don't just nourish you on paper, they feel right in your body. And while pumpkin seeds offer excellent support for muscles and digestion, the next seed plays a different but equally important role. It supports circulation and mental clarity, two areas that often concern people as they get older. The second seed that often supports aging bodies more effectively is flaxseed, especially when it's used correctly. Flaxseed is valuable because it provides gentle support for circulation and brain health without placing excessive strain on digestion when prepared in the right way. After 60, blood flow naturally becomes less efficient, and this can affect everything from mental clarity to how quickly the body warms up or recovers from activity. Flaxseed contains compounds that help support smoother circulation, which many seniors notice as better focus, steadier energy, and fewer moments of mental fog during the day. What's important to understand, however, is that flaxseed works best when it's ground rather than eaten whole. Whole flax seeds often pass through the digestive system without being fully broken down, especially as digestion slows with age, which means many of their benefits are missed. Ground flaxseed allows the body to access its nutrients more easily, making it a far more practical choice for seniors. Another advantage of flaxseed is its gentle effect on digestion when used in small amounts, which can help support regularity without the heaviness or irritation caused by other fiber-rich foods. Many people find that when digestion feels smoother, mental clarity improves as well, since the body isn't under constant low-level stress. The key is consistency rather than quantity. A small daily amount is usually enough to support circulation and comfort without overwhelming the system. This is another example of how choosing the right form of a food can make a meaningful difference after 60. And while flaxseed plays an important role in supporting the mind and circulation,